one big thing that is missed in the idea of the art class is one of the major underlying purposes or outcomes, more so, of an art class is work ethic. The ability to take responsibility for oneself, to learn focus, to achieve goals, to pursue a development of an idea. All these things become the outcome of art classes, and like it's something that becomes what needs to be taught as well. Work ethic is not something that is innate. Like you have to teach, especially in this day and age, what work ethic looks like. So that becomes a means of teaching in the art class. So first off, you need to learn how to develop an idea, which is a weird thing to say, but there is a level of development, and this can be broken down into different measurements of how to develop this idea. So first, it's identifying what your idea is going to be. Then you have to look at all the factors that help to bring this idea to a fruition. And then there's the artwork, where you're putting it down onto a piece of paper, you're sculpting it, whatever. You're taking this idea, this concept that you have made, and then you're bringing it out into the world, into fruition. You know, like people are able to see and understand this idea that you have had, and it's not to the point of making it a reality, because that would be the next step, right? So the artwork is the idea planning, and it's the whole process from conception of ideas to mapping ideas to bringing something out and then constructing it. And the interesting thing about art is it does not necessarily have to be something physical. It doesn't need to be like a building or some kind of structure, some type of tactile object. I mean, it can, but it also can be an idea or a way of being or an achievement. So you think about storyboarding, you think about dream boards and things like that. That's all idea development. They're all basically rhizomes, like these different ideas that come together to make this one central image. And the idea is that you need to bring all those things into what is this being, and then you need to bring out what all are the parts to this being. So you think of like a field guide. You're taking a animal species, right? So let's say birds. Well, what categorizes a bird? Here's all these birds and these subsects of birds and these defining characteristics, these where they live, where they migrate, the different age groups of like adolescents, adults, geriatric, all these different stages of life. So there's a lot of different things. The biology, the behaviors, all these things are part of this bigger picture of what is a bird. And then and that's just one category. Like there's birds, but then you can branch out into other field guides. But it's this idea of, this is what I like. Now I'm going to explore all the things that make up this one thing. And maybe because of these things, I come to a conclusion that I want to see this thing, or I want to make this thing, or I want to invent a bird, or I want to, or a monster, or something like that, you know, or maybe it's to study something else, like dinosaurs. They equate birds to dinosaurs quite a bit. So using this broadened area of knowledge to plug it into other areas of knowledge. What else can I catch? What else would be similar to? And maybe it's something that you're developing on your own. Like take a movie, for instance, especially like a period piece. If you are going to do a period piece that's like in the 1600s, you need to research what do those people look like, what's trending at that time, how did they dress, what type of clothing, what regions of the world would this be in, what type of climate is there, what's their agriculture, what's their day-to-day look like. So to develop any idea, you need to really unpackage all the different parts of it to understand it. And once you do, then you can start manipulating it. But unless you get this whole idea of learning how to focus and develop an idea, this work ethic, none of these things can happen. And I would argue that's why we are getting recapitulations, these remakes, these different ideas redone over and over and over again. Like, I think they're on the 13th Spider-Man movie or something like that, and they've done it over and over again. They've only changed a couple little things, but that premise is still there. So it's interesting because it's like they, instead of doing the work, they're just putting out all the work, and not refining it to this is the pinnacle of what this could be, because that becomes the artwork, right? After I've done all this research and I've explored all these areas, I take the best of the best and I make my masterpiece. I know I refine this and I know this is good and it's better than anything else. That's what we should be showing. But that takes the idea of artwork. Like we've been playing around with just putting out dribble because it's just burn and turn. Like, oh, here's one little change, I'll throw this out there, or I'll build on this idea. And we haven't tried to start brand new things. But that brand new thing means that we take the whole work ethic all the way to its fruition, its masterpiece. And this is something that's very achievable, but you need to get kids on it. You need to direct them towards the things that they like, and if they like it, if they truly like it or are interested in it, they are willing to do the mass work to develop an idea to its completion, not all this inchoate stuff that we've had for so long. So this is what the artwork or the art class is about. And this is the problem with art classes in general, is that more times than not, it's really hard to measure. How do we measure if artwork is improved, or how do we measure artwork in our day-to-day lives? Well, it's so ingrained, it's so banal that we miss that things of common sense are what is taught in art classes. And that goes into a lot of different realms. So, teaching work ethic. This is the purpose of art classes. Thank you for your time and your attention.
Do more, do better.